All right, guys, we're out. We're going to do a little lobstering. We're right next to one of the bridges, as you can hear the traffic. We're going to jump in. I got Cris and Richie with me today, the two lobster destroyers from previous videos. All right, guys, I'm with my buddies Cris and Richie. We're going to jump in and hit one of the local bridges down in the Keys here. So stay tuned on this video, guys. A lot of quick action. Fastest lobster limit I've ever caught. Less than 9 minutes of filming. Back on shore, I'm going to show you guys the right way to prepare a Florida lobster tail, how to properly fillet off the exoskeleton so you bring that lobster meat up to the next level. So stay tuned at the end of the video, guys. Grab your life jackets and hang on, and welcome aboard. Down here today. A lot of time the bridges are pretty murky, but it's looking good right now. All right, guys. Finally in the water. Cris and Richie have been in for about 7-8 minutes. I had an O-ring pop on my tank. I had to change it. So we're going along here. I'm noticing a lot of molts. So they've been in here heavily molting as they're coming through. Again, the bridge areas, when they're coming through, when they're really moving, you can get into a bunch of them. So here we go. First one. I was unable to dive this year during mini season. I had a couple of dental implants right there, textbook. Gradually tickle him out, pop him into the net real easy, and grab him nice and easy. That way you're not breaking his legs and everything off. I can tell by just, you've done this a lot, guys. I can grab that lobster. I can tell right there immediately how wide he is, that he's definitely larger than what the minimum size is. So I'm grabbing him, going to stuff him right in the bag there. No need to measure them great big ones. All right, so you notice that's Cris right next to me, guys. He's been in the water a whole 7 minutes ahead of me, and he has a limit, and so does Richie. So as I was coming in, there's a big coral head. He was just waiting for me. He knew that was the direction I was going to head. He's waiting for me. This coral head is just stacked full of them. Again, this is not normal. We usually don't land on a big pile of them like this. It's just kind of unusual, but we'll take it when we get it. So I'm wrestling this guy out here. Going to measure him up, get him in the bag. I got 6 to go. Those guys are already done. All right, so that's something unusual there, guys. You seen when I grabbed that one, a couple of his legs fell right off. After they molt, they're very, very soft, so you got to be real careful with them. That one was big enough to not even measure again. So Cris tickled this one out, shot him to me. So I've got 2 in the bag. I've been down there 3 minutes. So he tickled this one out, but after they molt, they're really soft, and they can break their legs and stuff off pretty easy. But this one I'm going to measure. Boom, looks good enough. Yep, going in the bag. All right, guys, the fun of teamwork here. I get him in the bag. Cris has already got one, and he's waiting for me. He's already working one out right in front of me. There's another one right there. Boom. Trying to get him in the net. In the net. Nope, he's not in the net. A little sneaky. So this one, uh-oh. There we go. He took on the boogie. Again, you can see this is a pretty good-sized coral. I'll come around the other side. Probably not the one he bumped out, but there's definitely more lobsters underneath it. The whole thing was just full of them. So, all right, I'm going to work this guy out, try to catch him. Again, they are very, very smart as far as trying not to get in the net. There you got 2 of them in the frame. Probably the one that I'm working on now is probably the one that we bumped out. But after you look all the way up underneath there was a bunch of them. All right, the smaller one went boogie, and all of a sudden we got a bigger one came out. So that guy hadn't been messed with. The little smaller ones, there's one of them, might be legal, might not, but they were not wanting to get put in the net. Look at him, he's giving me the what's up right now. All right, so that one's in the bag. Just getting reacclimated here. Chris is on the other side. He's got another one scooped out for me. Getting the teamwork action. So coming around, gonna try to swoop this guy in. I don't know why I was dragging the bag, guys. I could have probably just left it in one spot. Normally that is what I would do when I get into this situation. But he was just following me around the coral head. Boom, another one. This is number 5 or number 6. All right, guys, a little bit short on this one. We're going to get him on his way out of the net there. And try to get, I think I got one more to go. All right, guys, a little equipment notes here. Couple things. First of all, you see the net's got 2 pieces of white electrical tape across the top there. I literally cut the net. You can see it. I shrunk that top and bent it in 3 inches overlapping itself. Screwed it together. The tape is just over the screws so I don't snag them on basically myself or something else. I like the top of that net being narrower, so that's kind of a little cap and step. Second, the gloves I am using, guys, these are a knife glove. These things, yeah, they might be able to ram them horns through them, but they don't poke you through the gloves with everything else. So gonna give this guy a quick measure up here. Boom, plenty good. Bought the gloves off of Amazon, guys. I'll put the link in the video description below. All right, guys, total run time for me on the dive was less than 9 minutes to get a full limit of lobsters. It's always good to recheck every one of them. All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to show you guys how to, once we get the lobster, you know, cleaned and deveined, the tail removed, show you guys how I finished the lobster. I got the grills cooking over there. These are both hard shell, soft shells. This goes through pretty easy. You're going to want to start your knife initially right down that back there, like this. The second vertebrae from the back is basically where I start it. You can crack it here, okay? So we've got her split across the top. Next thing I'm going to do is pull the meat out, guys. Pull it right out of there. So your lobster on the back side, you can see this rubbery membrane. That's the new shell it's growing. That's called the exoskeleton. So with that, on the inside, on the top, you've got like a top loin, and then you got the main section here. So this takes an extra minute to do it, but the chewy part on the Florida lobster is that exoskeleton. So I've got my knife flat. I'm just sliding it across the table, holding that on there. Boom. So that's off of there. It's that simple, guys. Now with that, put his little flipper back in there. I'm going to lay it back in the shell. It's protein. The shell will bind that meat back into it here. Set that over there. That'll bind that meat back into it here in a little bit. I'm going to leave it like for 20 minutes in the fridge while the grill heats up. Other side, same thing. Just lightly work it across there. And you've removed the exoskeleton, which is the chewy part of the lobster. Very easy to do it like that. Again, lay the meat back into the shell the way it was. Just like that, guys. Just drop it back in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And leave it for about 15 to 20 minutes. That way it's going to stick back in the shell. And then I'll bring you to the grill as we cook this. I'm going to nail out the other one here. All right, guys. I got the grill up to temperature. I'm going to go through the process I typically use grilling lobster, pretty much any fish. So we have the Scrub Daddy. This thing's awesome. I'll show you guys. Especially when you're doing fish, you want to prep your grill. Put the edges sideways, knock the big stuff off. I got a pail of ice water here. Stick that boy in there, get it soaked in a little bit. Watch this. Notice it creates steam and it cooks everything right off of the grill grate, guys. See how clean those are? Pretty cool, huh? Next step, well, when I put the lobster into the fridge, today I did a little Everglades heat on it. I like that as a little bit of a spice, and we'll do some butter as well. Get some out of the way. So the next thing I'm going to do is just take a paper towel. I've got just some cooking oil that I use, probably olive oil or avocado that I use on the griddle. I want to soak it into the paper towel a little bit. Just kind of hit all the grills here. All right, so I got the lobster tail seasoned up. We're just going to go straight on the grill with it. The second one, he was ready to molt. It was very bizarre. I'm not sure how that one's going to work out. Should be good. Just flat onto the grill. Just going to let these guys cook. You'll be able to see them from the ends, half to 3/4 through. Again, the second one, you can see he had like 2 exoskeletons. He was ready to molt out of the shell, I'd say, within a day or so, the way that looked. You can see the tails are like 2/3 done. If it's sticking a little bit, it's not ready to be flexed. So that one just it's right on the edge. See it sliding there? This is the weird one that came in where it was already just ready to mold. So you guys see how you can see how they stick perfectly back in the shell. Once you just lay them in there, you just got to give them like 10-15 minutes. Get them on the table, we're going to try them out here. When you do it like that too, it also, the shell kind of keeps it warm. I'm going to peel half of it out of there. It's toasty, absolutely done just perfect. Don't want to grab the butter dish coming off the grill like that. They have a Tamara's plate, she's not here, she's not looking. Water on both sides of the deal. Again, so the reason you do that is that backside is super chewy. Like here, it just falls apart. That's the only drawback. I don't, not that I don't like it, but if you want your lobster without that chewiness, absolutely amazing. That's a total game changer, guys, when you're doing your lobsters. It just raises the bar from like an 8 to a 12. Absolutely amazing. You saw it only took a minute there to flay off each side. The big thing is when you go down the middle, to scissor the knife back and forth as you're peeling it off. That helps it, otherwise you might not get it all. Yep, that's good stuff. All right, guys, Captain Matt here, Marathon Sport Fishing. Now that's the way to do the lobster the proper way. If you haven't had a chance yet, guys, hit that subscribe button. If you got any salty friends that might like the channel as well, please share it with them. And if you like today's video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, as always, shoot them over. You guys know I hit them every morning. So, Captain Matt, signing off for today.